The film begins with Jdrama, who works at a call center for an app that's meant for lonely guys. She's chosen this gig because it doesn't require her to look like a model. All she needs is her voice to keep these lonely men company and fulfill their wild fantasies. This job is just something she does on the side. To keep her identity private, Jdrama goes by the name Mawar Marindu. Jdrama is a nice, down-to-earth, and hardworking woman. She's pretty content with her life, even though sometimes she feels a bit down when her friends tease her about her weight. But she tries not to let it bother her too much. Right now, her main focus is earning money to help cover her father's medical bills. Every day, Jdrama answers phone calls from various unusual men. Among her regular callers is a doctor who's quite fond of her voice. Every night, he uses an app to listen to her voice and has some naughty chats in his imagination. Jdrama is gifted with a great singing voice and loves to sing as a hobby. She also has a day job at a music label where she works as a singer. However, there's a twist in her story. She's a behind-the-scenes singer because the company she works for only wants her voice to be used as a replacement for a famous singer named Eva. So Eva is promoted as a singing sensation, but despite her good looks, she's not very friendly, and her voice isn't quite pleasant. So when Eva performs on stage, it's actually Jdrama's voice that fills the room. The next night, Eva had her first show, and Jdrama was there to help by singing behind the scenes. During the performance, Jdrama got carried away by the music and joined in the dancing. Unfortunately, she tripped on a cable and fell, causing a little incident. Thankfully, the issue was quickly resolved, and Jdrama got back to singing until the show ended. Eva, however, was upset with Jdrama because she believed the mishap could have ruined her first show. After the performance, Eva approached Jdrama and scolded her, even using harsh words and insulting her physically. In that moment, Jdrama could only apologize and explain that her fall was due to tripping over a cable. Soon after, the music producer at the company, named Andrew, approached Jdrama to check on her after the incident. He also expressed gratitude for her hard work in making the show run smoothly. However, his appreciative words and hugs seemed to make Jdrama develop a crush on him, thinking that he liked her. A little while later, Jdrama was at a restaurant with her best friend, Yara. Whenever Jdrama needed to talk about her life, Yara was the one she turned to. Turns out, Jdrama had a large appetite and always ordered big portions of food. It seemed like she couldn't stop ordering, and this annoyed the waiter, who had to keep bringing her more dishes. During their meal, Jdrama confidently mentioned that she thought Andrew liked her because he had hugged her after the event. Hearing that, Yara quickly disagreed, pointing out that Andrew had plenty of beautiful women interested in him, and he would probably choose one of them over Jdrama. With her current appearance, it seemed unlikely that Andrew would be interested. Yara then advised Jdrama not to rush into liking someone because she could end up being taken advantage of. After hearing that, Jdrama fell silent for a moment, and suddenly, she remembered a past experience from college. Back then, she had liked someone, but unfortunately, he had only used her to help with his college assignments. At that time, Jdrama felt so down that she considered taking a large amount of sedative pills. Thankfully, she didn't go through with it. Instead, she fell asleep on the floor for a long time, and people around her thought something had happened to her. It's a sad memory for Jdrama, but she needs to stay strong to take care of her sick father. After dinner, they headed home. During the journey, they decided to get matching tattoos as a symbol of their friendship. Among the various tattoo designs available, Jdrama liked one called Hakuna Matata, which means everything will be fine. After getting their tattoos, they headed straight home. The next day, after finishing work, Andrew invited Jdrama to go home together and also asked her to join him for his birthday celebration in a club. At that time, Jdrama was delighted to accept the invitation and promised to attend Andrew's birthday party. Not long after, Jdrama requested to be dropped off somewhere, claiming she was going to her friend's apartment. In reality, she went to visit her father, who was receiving treatment in a mental hospital. She kept this a secret from everyone except Yara, as she didn't want others to know about her family's situation. Soon after, Jdrama left the place and accidentally leaving her diary in Andrew's car, which he later had a chance to read. Upon reaching the hospital, Jdrama saw her father's distressing condition. Ever since her mother's death, her father had been under a lot of stress, leading to mental health issues. So Jdrama had taken him to a mental hospital in hopes of his recovery. Unfortunately, he no longer recognized Jdrama and believed she was his wife. Despite his illness, Jdrama continued to love and support him, working hard to cover his medical expenses. During her visit, Jdrama shared with her father that she had become a singer, even though she was only a backup singer. She was content that her dream of becoming a singer had come true. She also confided that she was close to her boss at work and asked for his prayers that Andrew could become her life partner. After the visit, Jdrama headed back home. The next morning, Jdrama received a gift from Andrew, a dress she was supposed to wear to his birthday party. She told Jora that she had a feeling Andrew liked her. In the evening, she arrived at Andrew's birthday party wearing the dress he had given her. She invited Jora to join her at the event and was excited. There, Jdrama went straight to Andrew and wished him a happy birthday. Once Jdrama joined the party, Andrew's older brother, Richard, asked her to take off her coat. Without thinking, she complied, revealing her figure, which the tight dress emphasized, making her look larger. The atmosphere turned chaotic when Eva arrived wearing the same outfit as Jdrama. It turned out that Andrew's assistant, Eva, knew about the dress he gave Jdrama and deliberately bought the same dress to mock Jdrama, insinuating that she was the one who should wear it. Eva believed she was more beautiful than Jdrama, which hurt Jdrama's feelings. In the end, Jdrama decided to leave the party. At that moment, Andrew couldn't stand seeing Jdrama being humiliated in front of everyone, so he scolded Eva. However, Eva saw it as a joke because she didn't like Jdrama trying to get close to Andrew. This made Andrew very angry, and he reminded Eva that Jdrama had been a great help to him. Without Jdrama, Eva wouldn't have been anything. Jdrama has a wonderful singing voice, but she doesn't consider herself beautiful and thinks she has a large body. She believed that if she were attractive and had a slim figure, she could become a famous singer. Unfortunately, Jdrama overheard their argument and misunderstood Andrew's words as if he was defending himself in front of Eva. She thought of herself as an ugly and overweight woman compared to Eva, who had a beautiful face and an ideal body. Jdrama even contemplated taking a large amount of sedative medication at that moment. However, just as she was about to do something drastic, she received a call from a lonely man application service, connecting her to a doctor who wanted to chat. This call sparked an idea in her mind, and she abandoned her harmful intentions. The next day, Jdrama visited a beauty clinic with the intention of changing her appearance. She consulted with a plastic surgeon named Dr. Eric. During the consultation, Jdrama learned that plastic surgery could be quite expensive. Realizing she didn't have a lot of money, she tried to negotiate with Dr. Eric to arrange for payment in installments. Unfortunately, the doctor declined her request and asked her to leave his clinic. Determined to change her looks, Jdrama resorted to revealing a secret. She used a lonely men's service application, where Dr. Eric was one of her regular customers who contacted her for companionship every night. At that time, Dr. Eric was shocked to discover that the woman in front of him was the same person from the application, known as Maura Merendu. With a bit of a threat, Jdrama asked Dr. Eric to help her transform into a more beautiful and slender version of herself. Reluctantly, he agreed to perform the cosmetic procedures. Afterward, Jdrama went to her father's place to bid him farewell, because she wouldn't be able to visit him for the next few months. A few days later, it was time for Jdrama to have her plastic surgery and liposuction. After the procedures, she kept it a secret from everyone and disappeared without a word. This left Andrew confused because Jdrama's voice was crucial for boosting Eva's popularity. As a result, all of Eva's shows had to be cancelled, and the recording of her album had to be postponed until they could find someone with a voice similar to Jdrama's. Eva was frustrated by the delay in recording her album, so she decided to search for Jdrama's whereabouts. She even went to Jdrama's apartment but found it empty. However, she discovered a document indicating the location of Jdrama's father's treatment. She thought of visiting Jdrama's father to gather information about Jdrama's whereabouts, suspecting that Jdrama might have gone to see her father at the hospital. Soon after, Eva invited Andrew to accompany her to the hospital where Jdrama's father was receiving treatment, hoping to learn Jdrama's whereabouts. When they arrived at the hospital, they found that Jdrama's father was unable to communicate due to his mental disorder. After failing to obtain any information about Jdrama, they left the hospital. Several months later, Jdrama's plastic surgery was a success, and the results were remarkable. She had transformed into a beautiful woman with an ideal body. It was almost unbelievable, but now she felt much more confident in her appearance. After months of staying in the hospital for her recovery, Jdrama decided to visit the mall. While there, she unexpectedly ran into Andrew and Eva. Turns out Eva was no longer performing as a singer and had taken up selling pans instead. At that time, Jdrama observed them from a distance, staying hidden. After being missing for several months, Jdrama finally reunited with Jora at the police station. Jdrama had been involved in a road incident where she had a collision with a taxi. In that moment, her appearance had changed so much from her driver's license photo that Yara had to vouch for her identity. At first, Yara didn't recognize Jdrama, only remembering her as a larger person. However, she eventually believed it was Jdrama after seeing the tattoo on her waist. They then went to a restaurant for dinner. Then, while they were at the restaurant, Yara mentioned that Eva's album release had been delayed because they hadn't found the right voice to match Jdrama's. Upon hearing this, she decided to audition as Eva's shadow singer so she could get closer to Andrew again. She planned to adopt a different persona so that no one would recognize her as Jdrama. Shortly after, Yara's boyfriend, Rizky, joined them. When Yara introduced Jdrama, she quickly changed her name to Angel. This marked the beginning of Jdrama adopting her new identity as Angel. Turns out, Rizky was in the business of selling weight loss products, and he often pressured Yara to buy and use them. Yara loved her boyfriend and never refused his requests to purchase these products. While Rizky was on a call, Jdrama tried to persuade Yara not to take the weight loss pills, as she believed Yara's body was already ideal and the pills might contain harmful ingredients. After hearing that, Yara hesitated but felt compelled to take them because Rizky constantly told her she looked overweight. The following day, Jdrama auditioned to become Eva's shadow singer, but she took on the identity of Angelica. She showcased her singing talents during the audition, and to everyone's surprise, she passed and officially became part of the company as Angelica. Angelica's beauty and her excellent voice caught the attention of Andrew and Richard, who wanted to promote her as a new singer, not just Eva's shadow singer. They attempted to persuade her father, who owned the company, to appoint Angelica as a new singer. Initially, their idea was rejected because her father believed that only Eva had the potential to be a popular and alluring singer, and Angel was merely Eva's shadow singer. However, Andrew and Richard persisted in convincing her father that Angelica had her unique charm that would appeal to everyone. Seeing their determination to launch her as a singer, her father eventually agreed to make her a new singer. This marked the beginning of Jdrama's journey as Angelica, creating her first single and music video. Her debut song was released and enjoyed by everyone. After Jdrama's first song was released, it unexpectedly shot up to the #1 position on the Best Songs charts in Indonesia. This created a sense of rivalry for Eva, and she made several attempts to locate Jdrama. Then, she visited the hospital, hoping that Jdrama's father would reveal her whereabouts. When Eva arrived at the hospital, she informed Andrew that she intended to continue searching for Jdrama, so her second album could be released promptly. However, this irritated Andrew, who advised Eva to focus on improving her vocal skills so she wouldn't have to rely on others' voices. Hearing that, Eva became upset and expressed her frustration loudly. In the midst of her outburst, Jdrama's father offered some advice that left Eva speechless. At one point, Jdrama recorded her second song, but her performance was not up to par. Andrew showed her a video from Jdrama's initial audition as Eva's shadow singer. Unaware that Angelica was actually Jdrama, Andrew urged her to listen to Jdrama's emotional singing style, which made the songs sound heartfelt. It was quite different from what he heard when Angelica sang, which sounded more straightforward. Then, Jdrama pondered whether she should sing like the woman in the video, referring to her former self when she was heavier. When she asked Andrew about it, he immediately scolded her because he considered Jdrama a special person to him. This revelation left Jdrama moved and silent. She had just learned that Andrew thought she was special despite her weight and appearance. She felt regret for deceiving him by taking on the identity of Angelica. The following day, Jdrama intended to come clean about her true identity. In the morning, she sought Yora's opinion. However, Yora mentioned that not all men are accepting of women who have undergone plastic surgery. Hearing that, Jdrama took offense to Yora's words, leading to an argument. During the dispute, Jdrama accused Yora of using her boyfriend to buy the slimming products he sold. She also urged Yora to stop using the slimming products, as they could be harmful to her health. Yora, unable to accept Jdrama's words, burst into tears and left. Yora's statement about not all men liking women who have had plastic surgery proved to be accurate. When Jdrama met Andrew, she decided against revealing her true identity. She had previously sought his opinion on women who changed their appearance with plastic surgery, and Andrew's response indicated that he preferred natural women without plastic surgery. This made her hesitant to disclose everything. The next day, Jdrama was at the office, minding her own business, when she accidentally overheard Eva practicing her singing in the studio next door. curiosity got the better of her, so she decided to approach Eva. Then, they ended up having a chat, during which Eva revealed her intention to push Angelica out of the music scene. Jdrama, recalling her father's advice, decided to share with Eva. Interestingly, it was Angelica's advice that helped Eva figure out where Jdrama was hiding. A few days later, Jdrama received some troubling news that Yora had been rushed to the hospital after taking too many slimming pills. It happened to be the same day Jdrama was scheduled to make her live television debut, but she prioritized visiting her ailing friend at the hospital. When she got there, the doctor informed her that Yora's life had been hanging by a thread due to the slimming pills. The doctor sternly warned Yora to stop using such dangerous products to avoid another close call. Jdrama felt a profound sadness seeing her best friend in this state, knowing that her boyfriend had manipulated her into buying these risky products. To make matters more intense, Risky showed up at the hospital just then. In that moment, Jdrama couldn't hold back her anger and gave Risky a piece of her mind for pushing those harmful products on Yora. She sternly warned him to stay away from Yora and never try to sell her those dangerous pills again. Risky had no choice but to hang his head in silence as Jdrama scolded him. After that incident, Jdrama and Yora's friendship grew stronger. Once she was sure her best friend was alright, Jdrama headed back to the studio because she was about to make her television debut. In her first appearance, she delivered a flawless performance. Everyone enjoyed her songs, and now Angelica was known as a singer. Her success was celebrated with Andrew, who seemed to be growing fond of Angelica. Up until this point, Jdrama had kept her true identity a secret. Then, while Andrew received a call from his father, Jdrama patiently waited alone, doodling a tattoo on her waist. Eventually, she got drowsy and drifted off to sleep right there. This is when Andrew finally discovered the truth about Angelica's real identity. As he looked at a picture of her, it triggered his memory of the same picture in his notebook featuring Jdrama. A few days later, Richard and Andrew threw a party to celebrate the success of their first album with Angelica. However, Andrew seemed distant because he felt deceived by Jdrama. Shortly after, Eva unexpectedly showed up with someone who claimed to be her big fan. This surprised Jdrama, as it turned out that Eva had brought Jdrama's own father with her. In that moment, Jdrama was taken aback and remained silent, unsure of how to react. She felt like a stranger to her own father. This attitude upset Yora, who promptly took Jdrama's father away from there. After this incident, Jdrama approached Andrew to come clean about her true identity. But to her surprise, he already knew who the real Angelica was. There, Jdrama apologized and explained why she had pretended to be someone else. With tears in her eyes, Jdrama mentioned how she had changed herself based on something Andrew had said during a debate with Eva. Andrew had commented that if Jdrama were beautiful and had a good body, she could be a singer. Those words had hurt Jdrama deeply, and she was tired of being ridiculed when she was heavier. She admitted that what she did was wrong, but explained that she had done it to improve her life. At that time, Andrew listened to Jdrama's confession and felt guilty. Then, he tried to comfort her, knowing that she needed to prepare for her first concert. After pouring out her emotions, she left to rest, as she had a big day ahead of her with her first concert tomorrow. The next day marked the end of Angelica's character, as Jdrama began singing a song during her concert. Unexpectedly, her father appeared on stage with Eva, and he joined in the dancing. Richard tried to remove Jdrama's father from the stage, but Jdrama stopped the concert and allowed her father to stay. Seizing the moment, Jdrama took the opportunity to apologize to her fans and reveal her true identity. She calmly shared her life journey, including her past struggles with being overweight and enduring ridicule from others. Despite the challenges, Jdrama pursued her dream of becoming a singer, initially working as a backup vocalist. She also introduced her sick father, who was grieving the loss of her mother. At that time, Jdrama's heartfelt confession touched everyone, and they all rallied behind her to support her in her journey to become a successful singer. As the time goes by, Jdrama achieved her dream of becoming a singer. She also found love with Andrew. Meanwhile, Eva transitioned from being a singer to becoming a YouTuber, creating content about life on the streets. Unfortunately, she got into trouble with the authorities and was caught by the police, and the film ends. The moral lesson from this film is if you're going to crash a party and reveal your true identity, make sure you bring your dancing dad with you for an unforgettable performance.